Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom.
Okay, so you're really frustrated because you typically play well, you play better than your opponents, you see yourself getting stronger, but you still just make these blunders from time to time, and you lose games because of it. And it's really frustrating because clearly, like, they're just such big, ridiculous mistakes. How can you actually be getting better if you're still self-atarring yourself and stuff like that? And so you want to know when does this stop? When do I just stop making these silly mistakes? Because if I could just eliminate them, I'd be winning like 10% more games, and that's gonna help get me there. And it's really easy to feel that way. And so to answer the first, the main question of when do these horrific blunders stop? Like, when can I just know that I don't have to worry about them anymore? And I don't have a good answer for that. What I can tell you is that 1K isn't it. Sometimes the big blunders still happen. Um, maybe when you're a strong mid-don player, then maybe those big blunders stop. But the blunders will just be a little different there, right? At that point in time, maybe your 5 or 6 point mistakes are your blunders. And you're looking at that now and going, well, that's not a blunder. If all I'm doing is making 5 or 6 point mistakes, then I can win these games. And that's true. But when you get stronger, the blunders just get smaller, right? What we consider our blunders to be smaller. But the main thing I want to go over here is it's okay, right? You're going to make these big mistakes and you're going to make them for a long while. And fortunately or unfortunately, we have an example of that today. And so I wanted to go over and show you guys to show that, this still happens, right? This still happens to strong single digit queue players. And so we're going to take a look at my last league game, which I'm actually quite happy with. I'm quite happy with this game, even though I lost it through a horrific blunder, as you guys will see. So don't beat yourself up about it. It happens to all of us. Just go enjoy the game. Don't worry about them. They happen to your opponents too. So yeah, don't stress about it. Anyway, let's go. Let's go take a look at the game.
Vroom, 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 vroom.
Okay, so here we are in this game. I'm black, and I'm still doing my silly dragon enclosure. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's been teaching me a lot. Uh, White extends here. We're obviously going to go approach the top left corner, and I wouldn't expect white to respond like this because I think this gives black probably a little too much of what black's looking to get. I could even consider something like this and just really go for a big framework. So white went and did a pincer here. I'm still interested in taking this side, so I'm going to plan to counter pincer this stone, but I want to get a little bit of strength here first. So I jump out, white jumps out, we counter pincer, and then white wanted to pressure these stones a little more, wanted to make these strong, right? Because we want to keep these stones strong so that we can pressure this. You may look at this and be like, oh, you're pushing from behind and white can do this. And that's true. But, if we get a move like this, white's going to be in quite a bit of trouble here. And so white went and played the attachment here. We did the Hane, white connected, we connected, and white's still a little unsettled here. We're still a little unsettled here. So white took the time to play this. And I considered the Hane, but this cut's a little painful. And I also didn't want white to be able to jump out too easily, so I went and played here just to strengthen this group and to start to surround white, because all I'm looking to do is surround white here. I think this is already a success, being able to develop this right side and get this right corner inside, get some good potential there. Okay, so we play here, and then white goes and makes a base. I want to make it so that white has to work a little harder to get life here. White extends. I play the Hane. I did think pretty long and hard about this move, about playing here instead, because I knew that if I play this, that white can play here, and that I'd have to connect, and that if we reverse that turn order and I play here and white plays here, I would never consider this move. But I did simply want to take away the liberty here. I wanted to take away the liberty. I wanted to again, make it, just a little more painful for white to live here. So we played here. White played the Hane. We connected. White plays this Hane. We threatened to kill the stone. White connected, and we played the tiger's mouth here. And so, white's still a little unsettled here. White extended, we connected, and white pushed here. We then took the time to Atari the stone, get some good shape, and then threatened to kill. White blocked. This isn't quite a living shape yet, but white's also not surrounded. We can't go try to kill this group without surrounding it first. So just surround it. Let white live in Gote with like 5 points, and look at this crazy strength we've gotten on the outside. Like I was feeling great at this point in time. And AI confirms I'm up by like something like 18 to 20 points here. So this felt really good. Felt like my game to lose. I wanted to take this one exchange just to threaten this peep, and then I kind of enacted what's going to be like the plan for like the next 50 moves or so, which is build a framework and really threaten a huge territory, make white have to come in to disrupt that, and then attack that stone and get some profit. So to set that up, we played this shoulder hit. White extended, I extended, and now white needs to do something about this, and white chose to play here to do that. So the question is, how are we going to respond to this move? Typically, we want to play away from strength, and we want to build potential. All of our potential is actually down here, and all of our strength is up here. So I think it makes sense to play over here to push white towards our strength and develop the bottom. So I chose to play here. Again, if we had just done something like this, I think this is too comfortable for white. While this is a good amount of points, it's less than what we can get on the bottom. So that is why I chose this. White attached, and I thought long and hard about, do I want to extend? Do I want to Hane? I think the Hane is the more natural move, but I liked this. So I played here, white connected, I played here, white played the Hane, and then I played here. This is a dumb move, but I wanted to make it uncomfortable for white to live here. If I do something like this, white's locally dead. We're not going to play this right now, but that was kind of the intent of the move, was just to set that up. White blocked, we connected here. I didn't want the cut, so I didn't really want to play Q13. And then white plays here, and that's fine. So white's alive in the corner. Congrats. But we got all this in Sensei. Look at what we've got here. And so now I was looking at it. I was like, okay, do I want to reduce white's left side with a move like B5, or do I want to build the right corner inside with a move like P5? I settled on P5. And I like this, right? It pretty much settles the corner, gives us like a really scary looking side, builds a really scary looking center. If we get a move like J3 or J2 or H3, it starts building a scary side. So I just thought it was pretty good. So then white decided to come in here, expand the corner a little bit, and reduce this. And this is an important note of this game, is there's a lot of potential here, like a lot of potential. Once white plays here, though, there really isn't any potential anymore. It's gone. It was there, but it's gone now. This is a big move. But the important thing is, now that the potential's gone, you just gotta let it go. It was there. You didn't get to cash in on it. That's fine. Your opponent took it away first, but you need to move on. We can't be playing a move like this to give your opponent this huge move in Sensei. We cannot give white this in Sensei. Simply cannot do it, because then if white gets something like this, it's just too big, just too big. So we ignore this and we go and invade the left side rather, to basically just mutual destruction. White wants to take away this potential. Okay, I'm going to take away this potential. White attaches, we extend. White connects, we jump. Seems pretty straightforward. We've got a good base here. We're kind of using this D11 stone. We've got line of sight to our H5 group. White attached, we extend. White Haned, we blocked. And then white connected. So the question here is, do we need another move? Do we need to play a move like this? Or can we Tanuki from this and go play the move that we really want to play, which is this? And this is obviously the move I played, right? Again, enacting the plan of getting, just huge, scary framework. And here, if white tries to kill, right, we can run out and try to connect up with this stone. It's also worth noting, white isn't alive here yet. So surrounding that is a good thing. So white played here, and I decided to just play this little pinch move. Nice move, I thought it was fun. White extended, we extended, white played here. And then I just took this exchange just to get it right at Sente. And now there's potential later to to cut off these 4 stones. That's all I did that. But there's a lot of Aji over here too with the Atari, and then the Atari that would come here. So I decided to just connect, and that gave white the timing to play here, which is fine. We blocked, white extended, we blocked, and white took the cut. So it's worth noting I have played Sam a lot in this league, and our games, this is pretty typical of our games, where I get ahead early, but then a big fight happens, and it's just whoever wins the fight wins the game. But because I'm ahead early, and because I've got strong groups and whatnot, I'm generally favored in the fight. But I think he's probably a little bit better of a fighter than I am. So I get ahead early in the game, and I'm well positioned for the fight. But he's a stronger fighter, so it's am I positioned well enough that I can have enough of an advantage to beat him in a fight? And look, that's what's going to happen with this game as well, because there's no this is obviously going to start a game deciding fight. That's just all there is to it. I extended this way. We could have extended this way. This is fine as well. But this comes in Sente because it threatens to kill these 2 stones. If Sam plays here, then I capture these 2 stones, and these stones still aren't in a great position, especially now that we can play something like this. Now these 4 stones are potentially captured, and then we can do something like this, and it snowballs out of control. Who knows how it would actually go? I would actually do some reading at that point in time. But so white extends down just to do the bamboo joint, and we choose to jump here to connect up, keep this stronger, and commence the fight. White took this time to take this Atari, and this was probably the biggest mystery of the game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I read here. It obviously wasn't right, because we can play here, and if white does something like this, we can just play this, and it just completely nets these stones. So I don't know. I don't know what ghosts I was seeing. I decided to play here instead, and white did capture, and I connected here, knowing that if white connects here, we can do this to Atari and set up the cone. It's fine. But white extended here, and I decided to take this cap. So here we are, game deciding fight. That's all there is to it. My goal here is I'm going to attack these 2 stones. And while doing so, I'm hoping to get stones along here in Sente, and maybe here in Sente, to basically turn this all into territory, knowing that this area is going to be big enough to win this game. And it is. This area is big enough to win this game. So that's the goal here. Is my goal to kill these 2 stones? No. That's never our goal. If I kill them, awesome. I'm definitely going to threaten to kill them. Definitely going to try hard to make it so that they can die. But that isn't the goal. If they live, whatever. That's fine. But we are going to attack them. So white plays here, threatening the peep. We're obviously going to block. White played here, threatening the cut. We're obviously going to block. And then white went to connect up here, and I needed to make sure that we could break out because we're getting surrounded. We need to make sure that white couldn't connect to this group. So played here, very very natural feeling move, and then white jumped out here, and I decided to play this again. Just need to connect up. I don't think white has the timing to play something like this because white's surrounded, we're stronger, and this just isn't going to be a good fight for white. So white played a peep here. We blocked. So then white attached to our stone. We haned, white extended. We extend, white haned, we haned, white haned, and we blocked. I know that we've got these 3 cuts here. And when before I played this, right, I considered potentially playing here. But when I played this, I knew that I was going to be sacrificing the stone because white can Atari, and then go and capture this stone. And that's fine because look at how huge this territory is. There's no way white wins this game. And I think white realized that as well. And so white played here, but I think that's a mistake. Gives us an opportunity to extend here, which really turns this fight into something much, much bigger. And I don't think these 3 stones are going to live. So white takes the Atari. We obviously go and capture, and then white plays here. And here, like, I was fine with this because we have this, which threatens to take this, and then we can play here, which cuts this off. Also, you notice I didn't play that because there's also this. Now that white's surrounded, is white alive here? So I just took this, it's Sente, and then I went and enacted this part of it. So I did play here, white connected. We played here, white tries to cut. We connect, Atari, connect, and then white extends here. And, this is potentially a little tricky because when we play here and white extends and we play here, if white extends here, this is an Atari. But I'm fine with this because if I extend here, which connects up and then white captures, we can just go play here. This gets us an eye here, and we have an eye here, and this group is alive. These 6 stones are dead, and then that means we have this entire area, and this game would be over. But that's not what happened. White went and played here, taking the eye away first. But honestly, perfectly fine with that. So I went and connected here, and white captures. But now this group is dead, and I think this group is dead. So I was willing to give up this entire corner because the center is dead. There's nothing white can do about this. And white agrees. White plays here, we block, and then white plays here. But again, it's too little too late. I don't think there's anything that white can do. So I just connect up, ensure that we're alive here. This threatens to kill the 2 stones, and I know we'll win any liberty race here. White tries their best, but there's really nothing that can be done here. I play here to hit this eye, which threatens to connect out. White can block here, but then we can play here, which connects up, and we aren't worried about this cut because we can set up the net, and those 2 stones are dead. So that's essentially what white did. White did it in the reverse order. White played here first, we Atari'd, and then played here, and now we play here to connect to this stone, and we've already hit the vital point, so this only has 1 eye, and white is locally dead. White did try the cut, but it doesn't do anything because we just get to net. So now this group's dead. This group's dead. And like all of this is ours. And this game's over. It's just absolutely over. We just need to just end the game. It's sometimes that easy. So then white played here to try some things, and I was in Biyomi. I knew I was so far ahead, it just didn't matter. So, it's possible that I could play this to try to kill the stone or play this to try to kill the stone, but none of that matters. I was just going to stay solid and let white do what white wanted to do, and that was fine. So we let white live in the corner, and none of it matters. None of it matters because this game is absolutely over. And so now we just continue on to endgame. But you guys saw the intro of this video. You know that the game doesn't end cleanly here. We do end up throwing this game away. And so that's just, how it goes sometimes, right? This is a game where I felt like I dominated this entire game. I felt great about it. I still feel great about it. I'm really happy with how this game played. I think from like a tactical standpoint and a global strategy standpoint, I think I did really well this game. And so I'm really not upset that I lost this one. You might be wondering how I lost this one, though. So let's go take a look. So I'm not going to go through the nitty gritty of everything that happens here. We end up killing this side. There's nothing that white can do over there. And so then we go, and white plays here, and now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to threaten to connect to these 2 stones, white blocks, and then we play here. Pretty simple stuff. The problem is this group currently has 3 liberties, and after I play here, it only has 2 liberties. So that allowed my opponent to throw in. We capture. White plays here, and now this group is dead. Because if I play here and white plays here, it just dies. We can't net this anymore. And the game's over. I was up by about 30 points, and after I played here, I was down by 30 points. Just like that, 60-point mistake. It happens. It happens to you. It happens to me. It's going to happen to you for a long time. It's going to happen to me for a long time. When does it stop? No idea. Not 1K, I'll tell you that much. But what I can tell you is not too many of my games end like this. Not, sometimes I make blunders. Sometimes my opponents make blunders, but they're pretty rare. I don't know, 1 out of 30 games or so. Maybe it happens 1 out of 20 for yours or 1 out of 50. I don't know, but they become less frequent. But they're never really going to go away, and we just have to accept that. Um, and the main thing is still learn from your games. Don't worry about this. No pity party. Just it happened. Whatever. A month from now, this game isn't going to matter, right? A month from now, the last game you played doesn't matter. The last 10 games aren't going to matter. It's going to matter where you are then, right? And so if you learn from something from this, then it's still a success. So don't actually worry about the outcome, especially if you completely outplayed your opponent, because you've probably played pretty well. And it's just like, whatever, you made that one mistake and it happens. It's going to happen for a while. So I just wanted to go over that. I wanted to show you guys. Happens to me too. Not just you guys. Happens to your opponents too. Happens to everybody. So don't dwell on it. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. So, as for always, thanks for coming out for another Iron Star West War. Every well sent triangle. Have a good one, guys.